Three things you need to know. Santa Clara County, living in Santa Clara, living in Silicon Valley, at Silicon Valley Living. Hey, it's Vito with Abitano, and today we're going to talk about three things you need to know, plus the highs and lows in Santa Clara County and this day in history, 2022. Say, this I'm having fun with, so just roll with me, all right? This is just, I, I never opened this up, and I just found it, and I'm going to use it. So today is June 20th, and on this day in history, and if you want this, you can buy it. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, so you still have to buy something like this, and it's a great Father's Day or birthday or Christmas gift. So go to the store and buy the History Channel calendar. Yeah, this day in history, June 20th, 1863, West Virginia enters the Union. Meh. It was the 35th state or the 24th state, depending on how you looked at it, because that was the time of the Civil War. Everything was kind of bubbling up. Everything was kind of going this way and that way. And I think it was like 85% of the people wanted secession, meaning they wanted to be part of the South. And when they voted to secede, at the start of the Civil War, the majority of the West Virginians had opposed secessions. Okay, they did not want it. So a majority did not want to secede into the South. That happened at Wheeling, and on June 11th, 1861, nullified the Virginian Ordinance of Secession and proclaimed the restored government of Virginia, headed by Francis Pierpont. Confederate forces occupied a portion of West Virginia during the war, but West Virginian statehood was nonetheless approved for referendum, whatever that means. All right, there you go. Virginia became a state today in 1863. All right. Next thing you need to know is what happened to all the agents? You recall, just a few short years ago was a firestorm. It was crazy. Everybody was jumping into the business. I had 9 agents on my team. It was crazy. There were so many people throwing this and throwing that, doing this. Hey, my cousin just got into the market, into the business. What happened to all of them? It's a hard business, guys. I know, like, oh, real estate's so easy. Yeah. Putting a deal together is pretty easy. Negotiating, when you're good, when you've done it and you created those calluses and you know all the tactics, it becomes easy, it becomes smooth. But it took me 20 years. It took me really like 15, 16 years to figure it out. But it took me a long time to figure it out. And I wasn't on a team. And, it takes time, and this is a business. And while I work out of my house, I still have costs. So you still have to look at real estate as a business. I have to pay myself. I have to pay other people. I have to pay taxes. I have to pay for marketing. I have to pay for all these other things. And there's a P&L that I deal with, right? When you come into the business and your cousin wants you to sell your house, wants to sell your house or help you buy a house or whatever, they're just looking for an extra buck, right? Or maybe they're like, this is my profession, and in 5 years I'll figure it out. That's the big difference. The other part about real estate is that there's a very, very low barrier to entry. And I know this because I have a business degree. I went to San Jose State. I got my business degree when I was 41 years old. I have it here somewhere. But what I learned was, it's easy to become a real estate agent. It's horribly easy. It's too easy. My feel is it should be at least a master's level degree in order to practice real estate, just like a lawyer. That's a JD. That's a juris. A lawyer is a juris doctorate. It's a doctorate. A doctor it's a doctorate, right? They're dealing with your life. A lawyer is dealing with your life. Real estate agents should deal with your life. There are far too many people in real estate that just jump in. All you have to do is 3 classes and pass the test by like 65% from what I remember. And what I remember from college is 65% is kind of like a D. I don't know. Just saying. I was the second guy out on my agent's exam, and I was the third guy out on my broker's exam. not saying I'm smart. I just figured out the system and it worked for me. I had, for my broker's exam, I had walking pneumonia and bronchitis. And I asked the proctor to keep me away from everybody so I didn't get anybody sick. And I was still the third guy out. And it's easy. If you study, it's easy. Anybody can get, believe me, I deal with a ton of people. Anybody can get their license. The problem is stickiness. It's so easy that the bottom 10% of every industry comes into here and says, I'm just going to make a quick buck and I'm going to do real estate. Well, great. Congratulations. And then, us old guys have to figure that out. Because when times are good, everybody gets into the business. And when times are struggling, like we had over the last 8-9 months, people get out of the business. They go back to their jobs. They go back to JOB and work 9 to 5. Right? Because they did not realize, holy moly, it's not 9 to 5. I have to work weekends. I have to work evenings. I have to work. I get up at 5:30 in the morning and I start working, right? I have meetings set up. I go to the gym. I come back. I set up for my video, do my video, and then I'm off doing my thing, showing houses or setting up for houses or getting houses listed or getting houses marketed, or there's 1,784 things that we do as real estate agents, right? They don't tell you that when you sign up for the course. There's a lot of easy parts to it, but there's a lot of parts where you have to be consistent. And that's what people don't understand. It's a business. Yes, you pay us a commission. It's a lot of money. At the end of the day, it's a lot of money, but that's because you're paying for all the services, all the experience, all the negotiation, all the extra stuff that you don't really think about. So anyway, that's why people leave the business right now. I have this right here. 13% of the people have left the business over the last year. We're expecting to see another 13% jump out. I'm grateful that I'm busy right now. I'm so grateful that I'm busy. But I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So, I should be busy, right? Okay, the next thing is Santa Cruz. Yeah, this is cool. Look at that. Multi-use. Guys, this is what we should be going towards. There's retail on the bottom, residential on the top. This should be the new normal, right? Not about this thing. Now, this is Santa Cruz, near downtown. It's mixed use. Okay. And the best analogy I can talk about is Santana Row. I love that concept because you have ability to walk downtown, walk down Main Street, go to a shop, go to a restaurant, go to a bar, have some coffee with your friends, and then go upstairs to your living, right? That is amazing. There's nothing better than this kind of concept. I'm not saying this building's great or anything. I'm just saying this concept is where we need to start going, right? It's kind of disappointing to me when they did Village Oaks and they have apartments over there and then retail over here and everything else is parking. They just didn't think it all the way through. I was hoping it was going to be more like Santana Row, which it's not. Now, nothing against Applebee's, but it's Applebee's. I would have really liked to have a higher end restaurant there, right? A nice restaurant, somebody that has come in and comes up with their own wine menu. They have a nice bar. They have not just a sports bar. I get it. It's great and everything, but we don't need that. We don't need another Applebee's. We need more homespun businesses and homespun restaurants. So I think it's Shin Sushi? No, Beito, the sushi place. That's homespun, right? They do a great job. I love it. I also like the Five Guys burgers. So, it's a toss up, but Applebee's, every time I have Applebee's, I have issues. Okay. Enough of that. Going back to this, we need to do more of this, right? Must-haves for aging in place. I turned 55 this year. Still go to the gym every day, about 5 days a week. I'm getting older. I feel my pains, all that stuff, right? So this is all at the top of my head. My marketing consultant, closer to 40, he just spent 10, 15 days resurfacing his floors. And we had this talk about the concept of letting people do work for you, right? It's a mindset that I had to adopt, not it's not ingrained in my brain because I was always a do-it-yourselfer. And these days I'm busy enough that I can afford it. It still tugs at my heartstring. It kills me to see a landscape, my landscaper come out and mow my lawn. It kills me. But I could spend that hour and a half better networking or sending out videos or increasing my business for my family. So that's the trade-off in my head. As I age, I'm still 55. I'm still strong, right? I see other guys I hike with, they're 65, 68 years old. They're running circles around me because they don't work and they walk 4 or 5 times a week. But, as you get older, and this is for your parents too, right? If you're talking to your parents, how are some things that we can do to help, right? I can tell you I live in a 2-story house and it has steps everywhere. I can tell you this is not a house that I want to retire in. I don't want to age in place in this house because my stairs are like a ship's ladder well. It's super steep, right? The storage isn't great. I have doorknobs. So we had the round doorknobs in the beginning, and then right away we got lever doorknobs, right? The little levers, because it helps. When and if I ever get arthritis and I'm hobbling around, it'll make it a lot easier for me to open. Changing the floor from tile to stone or wood to carpet. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the caveat is you don't want to have it you have to think twice about your bathrooms, but we got rid of anything hard in the main living areas. It's all wood. And wood is a soft enough thing, right? If I get old enough and I start losing my balance, I probably will put carpet back on the stairs. But for now, and when my girls were small, I remember seeing my daughter roll down the stairs and I caught her, scared the hell out of me, but we had carpet there. And it's part of learning. You have to fall and get up and learn and dust yourself off, right? Installing a smart security system or smart thermostat. Now, that's where you come in. If you're a child of an older adult, you can help them set it up and figure it out. My mom calls me all the time. I always joke. She always calls me. I'm like, what? You have to attach a picture to an email again? What? And it's always something technology, right? But you can help them out with that. And the good thing is you can keep an eye on them that way too. Yes, absolutely. I prefer tall toilets because I'm tall. My wife doesn't, but that's, there's other things too that you can do and to help you with helping your parents age in place. And if you need help, let me know. I know you're full-time busy. If they're here, let us help you. I have project managers on staff that can help, and they know how to help out with these types of things. Okay, enough said. Okay, highs and lows. We had 155 closings this last week, so we're maintaining pretty decent. Over May, we had a pretty decent month. Over list price of the 155, we had 102. That's 65% on over list price. The highest was 133. Right now we have 815. Again, far too low for the county. We need to be twice that in order to have a good balanced market. We're nowhere near that. We're dangerously low. Let's take a look at these houses. This is High Street in Los Gatos. So for 5.5 million, 89%. You can still get deals, guys. Look at this beautiful thing. Gorgeous house. Look at that. Okay, gated. So the one thing that kind of I don't like about this is that it's up in the hills. I'm not a hill dweller. I need to be by the water, right? There's nothing wrong with this. Way too many houses. There you go. So I could tell you straight up that there's way too many pictures on this, right? You have 5 angles of the kitchen, well, 10, 11 angles of the kitchen. You don't need that. I understand it's a big house, right? But you're overwhelming the senses at this point. Original list price 6.2, sold for 5.5. 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bath, 5,000 square feet. I get it. Let's see, there's 3D tour. That's not a 3D tour. Where is it? Man, forget it. Use the right links, dude. That's dumb. Okay. The lowest sold price in San Jose in Santa Clara County. It was in San Jose on Locust Street. I've been on Locust Street many times. Nice little tiny cottage. Guys, this is a beach house. This could be a beach house in Santa Cruz. Look at this tiny little thing. 100 years old. 103 years old, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 672 square feet. It is still sold for $800,000. Crazy. Okay. The highest list price to sales price. I think it was 133.6. Tollworth in San Jose. Listed 1.2, sold for 1.6, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,350 square feet, 62-year-old house right next to the freeway. This is, where is this? Oh, so Campbell's down here. This is Burbank. This is downtown, Stevens Creek, and that's Valley Fair. So you're on Fruitdale. I guess that's where it is. Standard home. Standard homes right now, they're selling for about 1.5 to 1.7, 1.8, depending on where it is. So it looks like this was dolled up and tuned up. New kitchens, right? People are willing to pay for that. I have another article I'm working on right now for that talks about what millennials want. Millennials, some of them are looking for turnkey, but more are looking for fixer-uppers these days. First-time buyers, right? Okay, the lowest list price to sales price. This one sold 76% of list price. In Palo Alto, no less, by 101. Right. And I can tell you that you start off with a backyard. The front yard's got to be meh. These are Eichlers. Eichler is a style of architect with flat sloping roofs, higher ceilings, but it's flat sloping, and then between the joists they insulated. And typically, what you saw in the roofing was tar and gravel, not like it was more like a rollout type tar and gravel, very cheaply put together. But this is a style that is enduring all across Santa Clara, Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, Mountain View. You see these all the time. It looks like they built out a second story with the same architectural design, right? Yep, 3.98 sold for 3, so 25% less. Yeah. 273 days to sell. I can tell you that there's a story line that people, agents, young agents especially, will overpromise and then underdeliver just to get the listing. So one of the main questions we want to know is how realistic you are when you're selling your house. What do you think your house is worth? What do you think your house is worth? And then you come back and say, I think my house is worth $4 million. And, I would say, okay, let's have this discussion. Talk about what upgrades you've done compared to other listings. What makes you think your house is worth $4 million? How do you justify that? Right. And that concept kind of goes a little bit deeper, because what we want to know is where your mindset's coming from. Why are you asking your agent to sell your house for $4 million? You know your house far more intimately than I would ever know it, right? If you've upgraded, then yes. If you've remodeled, then yes. If you've put in new air conditioning or new flooring or new whatever, and yes, you can absolutely do that. But also you have to keep in mind real estate. There's 1,000 different things that are going on, right? You're talking about location, condition, market condition, rates, who your buyer is. Everything plays into it. So when I just show you a set of comps, those are general comps, right? When I send them out to you via email once a month, those are coming at you just to show you a 10% variance of square footage. It has nothing to do with the condition of your property based on those homes as well, right? If you bought your house brand new, bought your house as is in original condition, built in 1968, and nothing ever was done, had single pane windows, no air conditioning, wood paneling, and I still contend that shiplap, which is Johnny Gaines' favorite thing, is just paneling moved on the side. That's it. Going back to this, if you overshoot the market, buyers know what the house is worth. Buyers determine the sales price. And if you have your house listed at $4 million, let's say this one right here, right? We're looking at this one right here. So it's at $4 million, and it was on market 273 days, and you finally drop it down to 3.3. And guess what? Buyers know what the house is worth. The realtor knows what your house is worth. When I talk to people, I have a price in mind, right? I look at condition. I look at what's sellability. I know what the market wants. I know what people are looking for. Reset. How do I do that? There we go. Sorry, I had my screen there. I know what the house is worth, but you have to accept the fact that the house is what buyers are going to pay for it, not what you think your house is worth. So when I tell you your house is worth 3.3, let's see what we can get with 3.3, and then you argue with me and argue with me and argue with me, you're just negotiating with me, not the buyers. You're not hurting me, you're hurting yourself, right? My job is to get your house sold. Well, Vito, my house was worth $4 million back in April last year. Well, that was last year. We're talking about the last couple of weeks. We've had ups and downs, unemployment rates going up and down, and stock market going up and down, and a new batch of buyers that are out there. So we know what we can get away with. We know what we can do. And you can't say last year or 3 years ago, your house was worth this much. That was then. You should have sold then. If you want to sell it today, I'll show you the comps for today, the last 3 months, and then a trend line that shows you where your house is worth for the most part. And then you have to add or subtract value for upgrades or not having upgrades. If you have air conditioner or not, if you have a new roof or not, if you have leased solar versus owned solar, if you have a pool, if you have electric water heater versus gas water heater, if you have newer appliances, newer appliances. Are you leaving your refrigerator, washer, and dryer behind? Do you have a wine cooler? There's so many different variables that we have to take into consideration. And for the most part, we dump that into a general price, right? Our attraction method is to keep it low and see what the market will really bring at that time. And if the market's tanking because the unemployment's high and rates went sky high and we're trying to battle inflation, you have to understand that 20 years of experience far outweighs somebody that would take a listing for $4 million and let it sit there for 3 or 9 months. Okay, enough of that. Tomorrow we're talking about, let's see real quick, 40 days on market. So we're going to go look at the San Jose trends for San Jose. I'm Vito Scarnecchio with Abitano. We'll see you out there.